welcome guys. It's great to be here. As you'll probably tell, I'm speaking English. We've got a good representation from across Europe here in terms of Italy and Spain also being represented. It's a very broad question that we're starting with. So I think maybe the first area to go to would just be for each of you to define how you see growth within your club and how you define that internally.
Should I start?
Yeah.
Well, growth for us means trying to find a unique way for us to be competitive in not only in the national but in the European landscape. Of course, Napoli, we won 2 titles in the last 3 years, so we cannot hide ourselves anymore. We're there. We need to stay there, and to do so, I think our ownership has found an innovative way to be financially sustainable through a lot of initiatives that are, I would say, very peculiar. We have a big challenge ahead of us, or a big opportunity, which is the 100-year anniversary celebration next year. And now the moment is to grow globally, to connect with our immense fan base we have in different markets, and find touch points for them to metaphorically come home and bring along all that it takes to become a top club at all levels, not only national, but also European, at European level, and of course globally. And it's a challenge because you have a lot of tough competitors out there. But I think we can, as long as you can tell a unique story, I think that then you have a chance.
Cool.
Okay. Hello, and thank you for the invitation. I don't know if maybe I would like to introduce the club through a video. I don't know if it's available now or not. And then I can explain my special view about what is growth.
Yeah, sure. I think they should have it lined up to play.
Real Mallorca, a centenary, historic, but who are we really? We live in a place they call paradise. We are a team with a great history. Would you like to see something you won't see in other stadiums in Spain? We are innovators. We are committed to improving our local environment. We are much more than football. We are a global brand. We are Real Mallorca. Welcome to the family.
Well, so this is a summary of who we are. Thank you. So, well, I think that the growth could be something special for us. 7 years ago, we were in the 3rd division, and we start from the scratch, no? So probably what's growth? Growth for us was to completely restructure the club on and off the pitch with a completely new squad, with a completely idea of where we want to be. We thought a lot about the future, the next step to convert our brand that really was in a very bad situation. The brand awareness was very poor at that moment, 7 years ago. And we decided to completely change the brand, completely restructure the club with new staff, with new vision, with new strategies, with a new team, and try to get this confidence from the sponsors, from our fans, from all the local institutions, and try to tell them that this new club was going to be raised from zero, no? From zero. So our goal right now, after all these 7 years that we have been from 3rd division, 2nd division, 1st division, we went down to 2nd division again, and now we have been 5 years in a row in the 1st division, is to establish in La Liga, to be a solid top 10 club in La Liga. It's true that probably there are 13, 14 clubs that we are going to be every season fighting not to be relegated. That is reality. But we want to be at least the first in those 13 teams and try to be solid there in La Liga, no? And of course, to continue working a lot on our brand and our culture, show our culture traditions. This is really important for us in terms of branding, and to grow our fan base. We came from 8,000 members, season ticket holders in 7 years ago, and now we are 23,000 and stadium 26,000 seats. So this is our idea of growth.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Andy. First of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, sharing the panel with my colleagues. I think it's interesting because, how can I say, we can reply to this question in a completely different way, taking in consideration we are in a different situation. Honestly, I think that we are growing a lot, and I think I'm not here to say that we are doing well, but how can I say, my point of view on this point is that we need to find just a balance with the sports side, result on the pitch, off the pitch, and taking consideration what we do, what we try to do. I think that many times football can inspire, for sure, more than what we believe. And how can I say, what we try to do is continue our growth, in particular in international markets, on which for sure I had the luck to be in a club already, how can I say, so international. And we are developing different ways, trying to introduce different ways to communicate, to try to share the values that at the final are part of our brand, of our club. And for me, many times, how can I say, winning a growth is not just winning a game. Many times is touch a completely different target, enter in the heart of people and in the mind, just introducing the concept of secondary funds. So in our case, why not? So many times for me, it's a pleasure when many people share with me why we make meme in Italian. So in these 2 days, it was, I think, the common question that I received. So for sure, this is part of a strategy that we are introducing to growth, and happy to do it in my country. And we need just to continue to this growth.
Mm-hmm. I talked about the international nature of this panel, and I guess that's a common theme that's come across from all three of you. The NFL recently played in Madrid and trained at the Atletico Stadium. So I think maybe that's a good and topical place to continue the conversation is, the Americanization, I guess, of European football. What can we learn from the way that maybe American leagues and franchises have approached sport, and what doesn't translate across to the European market particularly well? I'm happy for maybe Leonardo to go first, or?
I mean, we didn't host any NFL game at the Maradona Stadium. It wouldn't have been maybe as successful. So infrastructure is also a big point. I'm not going into it today. I think it's more of a systemic problem of this country that will have to be addressed in the right moment. What we have is a city, though, that helps us a lot. I think we have been the amplification of a renaissance of Napoli as a city, attracting a lot of high-end tourism. America, you mentioned. We can build on the Amalfi Coast, on Capri, on everything that is in the, in the stereotype of a beautiful place to go, which actually is. And we're trying to connect with this trend. Mm-hmm. I think my colleagues before me made an amazing job in switching a bit the perception of Napoli as a common club to a premium property, and now Napoli as a club is something that speaks about aspiration, without losing the roots of being a club for the people. We managed to do this by doing things again our own way, in our own style, in our own ownership management style. A couple of years ago, we took the decision to manage our own merchandising in-house so that we could do the brand we wanted, distribute globally. We started doing now. We decided that we own the players' image rights because that makes everything sustainable. And in a tough business like football, and particularly Italian football, we not only managed to win, but to make profit year by year. And that profit can be reinvested in making the club even more sustainable and international. Now, the point is, how do we stay at the level? And that back to the question before. And we need support also from all the authorities of politics and everything to make sure that we are given the basics that need to be at the level of here my colleagues who have done a great job.
So Alfonso, Mallorca have US ownership, so I guess you're working very closely with people that also worked stateside on sports in the US, so maybe you could share a little bit of your perspective working very closely with an American ownership group and how you maybe filter the ideas that can translate and then those that maybe don't come across so well.
Yes, well, our ownership, they are from US. Basically, our main owner is Andy Colbert. He was former tennis player. Mm-hmm. So all our owners are former athletes. So we understand really well what is sport about. And they have this passion, they have this long-term view that is really important in football, in this industry. We have Steve Kerr, that is a current coach of the Warriors, of the basketball national team from US. We have Steve Nash, that is Hall of Fame, NBA also. Stu Holder, that was former football player from the Premier League and from US national team. So all of them understand what the business is about. They know that you lose more than you win, and they have this view, no? So I think in terms of ownership, you can find these owners that want a return on the investment very fast. And another ones that have this vision, this long-term vision, and they are passionate on the strategy, no? And this is the kind of owners that we have, no? And of course that we have a lot of access to the US market, to the US experiences, to other franchises. Andy Colbert is also part of the ownership of the Phoenix Suns, of the NBA. So we have been partnering with them, working a lot with them, together with them. So the important thing is to bring all these things of entertainment to our market, to our club, but always adapting to our culture, to our fans. You cannot just do a copy and paste of everything you see in the US because probably it's not going to work. So we try to understand this, try to take the best from US entertainment and trying to bring this, but with the perspective of our culture, our kind of fans, and with the respect to our fans, no? And this is the way we are working in Mallorca.
Mm-hmm. And then Valerio, I guess, Atletico has aligned itself very well with the NFL by having the team training at the ground. For a long time, Atletico has associated itself with other IP. I mean, I remember a long time ago now, Atletico having Spider-Man on the front of the shirt and things like that. So, as a marketer and somebody that knows brand really well, how do you think about that kind of like attachment, I guess, to other IP and American culture? And I'd love to get your perspective as well.
Yes, I think that, first of all, we are talking about words completely different, no? So for sure there are many stuff that for me are an inspiration for sure, that in a completely different content is working very well. Later, if we think that we can copy and paste an activation, a campaign or rules, I don't know, we can make many examples in a completely different context, I think that is not the right solution. But we don't need to go to the US, just comparing Spain and Italy, the approach is completely different. From my point of view, I think that is always a matter of identity, continues to take a decision, having a clear strategy, and continues to do it every day. And later, doesn't matter the country. I mean, for sure it's important, verticalize, it's important to try to share and convert your idea in your key markets for sure, but you can change what you are depending on the countries in that case. For sure, in our case, brand extension in general is something that we love, and we try to develop a lot in order to create for sure a new fan base. I think that I could say we always try to be a fresh brand. So for me, when we are able to create a connection with other sports, with other property, with other clubs too, why not? And without going so far with other contests, music, food. So it's something that for me it's always a plus. And for me, it's not a point to do more stuff, but do stuff that makes sense and respect what you are doing. So in our experience, what we try to do is continues to touch in this cluster different personas, different fans, taking consideration that we can talk with a an American fans like a Madrid fan. So for sure is an error. We have many type of fans, and we try to understand which type of fans we have and try to adapt our way to communicate with them.
Yeah, and in terms of that identity as well, just staying with you, Valerio, Atleti has two clubs, one in Mexico and another one in Canada as well. How does that identity translate across to those markets? Obviously, they're two markets that are going to be hosting a World Cup next year. So,
yes, yeah, this is an example. So just to continue, for sure we have San Luis Atlético Ottawa in Mexico and Canada. So for me, we share the same owner for sure, but we are different. So for me, Atlético San Luis, Atlético Ottawa are different clubs, different souls, different contests, different fans. For sure, we share internal activities. We can collaborate many stuff, but at the final, we are three different brands. So the goal is not to replicate, for sure, copy and paste the soul of Atlético de Madrid in different countries, because for me, it doesn't make sense. And this is more or less the approach and the relation that we continues to maintain with our brothers.
Yeah, I guess on the identity question, Alfonso, you know, a lot of people travel to Mallorca. It's a very popular tourist destination. Like you said, you've got a lot of American celebrity owners. You know, how are you leaning into that kind of identity, I guess, as a destination beyond the football club? So if people that maybe have less interest in football still can contribute to your growth.
Yes, completely. This is the base for us, no? And I think that to be a different club, to be different from others, and to have different opportunities in the market, we have to be very linked to our identity, to our Balearic Islands. We are proud of taking the flag of the Balearic Islands to the flag of Mallorca, and go there worldwide. We have more than 100 million audience on TV every season. So we are really proud of our identity, our culture. On the match days, the show we do before during the pre-game, we try people to come earlier to get fun, to enjoy with the show previous to the games, and we show everything on TV. Our roots, our cultures are demons. That's why we are red and black. It's fire. So we brought the culture, the traditions to our games. So the stadium is full of demons with fire, and we are proud to show this culture, and this makes us special and different from others. And of course, we have a very good collaboration with the local government. So we are proud to promote the island.
Yeah.
He's happy to hear that, and he's working on
Lucky
that
him.
too. So we were trying to promote the island also in a different way. We need to be sustainable. We want to promote the island of the season. We are playing not in summer, so it's a good moment to promote the island, to promote our culture, who we are, the island itself. No, so this is basic for our identity. Our local fans are going to be more engaged, and they are going to feel that this is the club. And others that are living in the island, that are coming to the island, those tourists, we have 14 million tourists coming to the island, an island of 1 million inhabitants. So imagine all the people that are coming, all the tourists that are coming to the island, mainly German, British, Nordic countries. Now there's a lot of US citizens that are coming, tourists that are coming to our island too. And they love to come to the games and watch and see all our traditions there in live, no? So this is, for us, the base of everything.
Yeah. Coming to you, Leonardo, when it comes to sort of owning audience, I guess that's a key pillar for Napoli. You mentioned the sort of verticalization of your kit manufacturing. You spoke about the image rights as well when we were talking earlier. How do you think about trying to own this audience of Neapolitan like expats, I guess, that have gone abroad to places like South America and the US and elsewhere, because you've got this huge global fan base and obviously a really tribal audience as well in the local city. How are you starting to think about and roll out a plan to start to capture more of that audience on a regular basis?
Yeah, I have to say we're very lucky because we have so many fans around the world. The job is pretty much done, and they're so loyal. I mean, we're talking 2 and 2nd generations of maybe American, Brazilian, Argentinian, Australian that are passionate about the club, like they live it on a day by day. So it's for us just to connect and create touch point with them. I think what is crucial for a club like Napoli, and we're not Manchester United and Real Madrid yet, or Atletico, is to tell a different story market by market. We cannot go to Brazil the same way we go to Japan. So it has to be a tailor-made approach and has to be done in different ways. So we have key markets like North America, where of course merchandising is a key element of growth. Sponsor is also something that we can build on to create critical mass and also of course revenue streams. Then Brazil and Japan are 2 markets where we are more working in terms of academies, in terms of grassroots programs. Particularly in Japan, we're doing a very tailor-made approach. We started last year with the 3rd kit that had Japanese element, and positioning ourselves first, telling a story about Napoli, why it's relevant, and then build on that. And Australia, where it's purely merchandising basically, because there's so many potential buyers there that are desperate to get our product. So, of course, there's a lot to build. I think it's crucial to transfer the value of Napoli City and Napoli Club to the world, and translate them into the local spirit. We are lucky that Napoli is everything. It's a city that offers a wide spectrum of emotion. It's multicultural, is resilient, is creative, and there's very little that you cannot associate with Napoli. And we are lucky that we are the only club of the city, possibly the biggest club of the region. So there's a lot of support for us, and I think it's so intertwined what Napoli and the city of Naples stand for. That we just simply need to make it wide and create touch points for brands, for fans, and also for players to come. Because Napoli used to be a club where players come just to bounce back on their career, and now is an aspirational club where players want to come, want to stay, want to win. Luckily, they managed to, and more so. So that's a turning point for the club. That after the first 20 years of the new ownership, where we rebuilt the sports department, now we're building the identity of the club for hopefully the next 100 years.
Yeah. We're coming up towards time, so I'll try to make this a bit quicker with the answers, I guess. But, we've talked a lot about going international and reaching new markets, but I think there's also a big push towards building greater connection with the local community, right? There's this idea of 1,000 true fans and that sort of local core being critical to revenue and also to the momentum of the club. Both Atletico and Mallorca have big stadium projects. So maybe, Valerio, first, you could just talk about kind of how important that kind of like wider sports district is to the growth of the club. And then if we have time, Alfonso, you could add to it in terms of how you're thinking about the stadium and how that plays into the growth of the business.
Yes, in our case, Ciudad de Deportes for sure is an entertainment district around our stadium. Honestly, it's an incredible idea. It's an incredible innovation activities that we are creating. For sure, we are sharing with the city of Madrid. We are creating a point of interest for many people in order to not just live the spirits of athletic during the games, for example, or just when you want to watch a concert or take part to other events in our stadium, but we are creating a district completely open to the city with many staff. It focalize a lot on the sports activities. So for sure, it will be an incredible element for the club for the coming future, and why not? It's an important point of interest for the city of Madrid and the population of the city.
Yes, in our case, 2 seasons ago, we decided to make a complete renovation of the stadium. The stadium was very old, was built in 1999. Not very old, but I think that from the beginning it was designed in a different way. They were thinking about, it was a Mediterranean university Olympic Games. So it was the Olympic Stadium, with a running track, so the experience was really poor. So 2 years ago, and it was the big demand of our fans to remove the running track. So we go with it. And then we thought about new areas, new hospitality areas, how to continue growing. The reality of Mallorca is that 30% of the population, they are foreigners resident in Mallorca, mainly, as I said, Germans, British, and Nordic countries. They were not fan of the club. Now they are coming. So we are growing our base thanks to the new stadium. So the renovation of the stadium has been a milestone in terms of fan base, of experiences, but not only on the match day, but also on non-match days. So now we are doing a lot of events. We have gastronomy. We are doing concerts. And a part of that, we are having new businesses around the stadium. So we have a football park that we are going to open very soon for kids. We have a new sport bar. We have a clinic and a rehab and performance center. And we are working with the authorities to open a gym. So this time is going to be 365 days. So it's a new venue for the city, and it's going to completely change our brand, who we are, and it's a new source of revenues to continue growing and to continue investing on the pitch.
And then just to interrupt, sorry, I don't want to change your line, but for me it's important to make a comparative analysis respect, for example, the Italian context. So meanwhile, sometimes here in Italy we are talking about new stadium. The reality is that very close in Spain, we are creating districts. So I think that for sure this is an incredible element for clubs. But just because for me we are in another step on which for sure the stadium is crucial, is fundamental to grow. But in that case, we are thinking about other stuff. We are thinking about districts that for sure are going to change completely the face of many cities, and for sure are going to impact an incredible way on the club. So for me, it's always interest make this comparison. For sure, I'm Italian. I love the Italian class without any doubts, and so it's always, how can I say, a point of question for me to say, okay, when we are able to make this step in order to increase for sure and reduce this distance with many countries. And in that case, we are, how can I say, a clear example of what the club are doing, and for sure we are living, how can I say, the positive aspect and also the bad, but the positive, how can I say, results that a project like this can create for the club.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more to touch on than 30 minutes allows when it comes to a topic this broad, but I really appreciate the perspectives of all three of you. As Alfonso said, and as Valeria points out there, it's not a copy and paste, but I think we can learn from what's happening in different countries and then try to understand how that could apply within the context and regulatory frameworks that exist within any given market.
And you're looking at me, of course. If I look at the glass half full, we need to be even more creative to compensate the lack of revenues that our neighbors have. And that's what keeps us motivating, because maybe we become more pioneering in a lot of things that we do in Italy, because everything else is not supporting us. So,
yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, guys.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.